Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I am Chad, the Reseller Rockefeller. Today is February the 15th, I think. It's Saturday, and I just got back. I went to a couple of garage sales, and I went to an estate sale. It's about 10:30 in the morning, something like that. So I wanted to do this video right when I got back because I wanted everything to be kind of fresh in my head. But before I jump into it, I want to say if you're new to the channel, I am a full-time reseller. I buy and sell stuff. I go to estate sales, I go to yard sales, thrift stores, flea markets. I do estate liquidations. I also do estate buyouts. I go to storage auctions, all kinds of places. I pretty much go anywhere and everywhere, and I source for items that I can resell online, and that's what I do. So if you're into reselling and you want to follow somebody on YouTube and learn stuff, or just feed off of me, by all means, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, let me know how's it going, all that good stuff. Let me jump right into this. The reason that we're making this video today is because I want to talk to all of you out there that are resellers, and I want to get your feedback on how you approach, a yard sale, or how do you approach an estate sale. I know it's pretty simple and straightforward. You go to an estate sale, you go inside, you find good items, you buy those items, and you leave. And to most people, that's probably as easy as it gets, and that's pretty straightforward, and that's exactly what they do. But for some of us, specifically, I'm talking about myself, I do things, in a very systematic, manner. I try to do things differently, and I try to approach things very, professional, but I also try to approach things in a way that's going to benefit me the most. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about. I hope that you can follow along, and I hope that you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. When I go to an estate sale, when I first get to an estate sale, I'm going to go pretty much in the direction that's going to potentially make me the most money. So let's just say, for instance, that there's an estate sale. It's a big house. Say it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Let's say right when we walk in the door, each bedroom is set up differently. That's usually how it is at an estate sale. Let's say one bedroom has computer items, gaming items, electronics. One bedroom has clothing, shoes, purses, designer wear, all that good stuff. One bedroom has pots, pans, kitchen items, household items. The living room has, let's say, jewelry, antiques, collectibles, things of that nature. Now, most resellers are going to go towards what they know, what they actually have experience in, because that's where they're going to be able to actually find the best stuff, because they have knowledge in XYZ. They're going to go to wherever XYZ is at. Now, for me, I have knowledge in a lot of different fields, in a lot of different areas. So when I go to an estate sale, I'm actually going to the jewelry section. And the reason for that is because I'm going to try to find the items that I know that I can profit the most money off of. And when you think about what is inside of an estate sale, or what could be inside of a estate sale, there's not really anything that can compare profit-wise to gold, silver, diamonds, watches, things of that nature. There's just not anything in the house. I could probably, make more money flipping a gaming system instead of flipping a sterling silver necklace, because a sterling silver necklace isn't worth that much money. But if I find a diamond ring that has, a half a carat diamond or a carat diamond or whatever the case may be, then obviously it doesn't compare or match up to a gaming system, because I'm going to make way more money on that diamond ring. So why would I pass up the jewelry section and go try to look for other items when I potentially could make more money in the jewelry section? I hope that all of you are following along. So I always, see resellers do this. They pass up these kinds of items, or if there's a table with a ton of, junk jewelry, costume jewelry, small little antique type items, they pass that stuff up and they go for, records, or they go for video game stuff, or electronics, or books even. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And so that's why I'm making this video today, because I actually watched it, right in front of my eyes. I actually watched 4 fellow resellers pass right over what potentially could have been a huge score for them because I was last in line. So let me kind of go back a little bit and give you some context to this story. I got to the estate sale and there was probably 4 or 5 people standing out in front. I got out of my vehicle. I walked up to the 4 or 5 people. I said, hey, you know, what time are they starting? One guy said, oh, they're going to open the doors at 8 o'clock on the dot. I said, okay, cool. I seen a huge pile of cardboard boxes and they had a sign up that said, grab a box, fill a box. So I went and grabbed 2 big cardboard boxes and I came back and got back in line. Now, most estate sales don't really ever do the whole line thing, but if it's a big estate sale and they're organized, they're going to have a line out front. They're going to open the door at a certain time and then everybody gets to come in. Luckily, I got there early and there was only 4 or 5 people ahead of me in line. So, you know, we had about 20 minutes to kill and I just started, you know, small talk, you know, with fellow, you know, people standing in line. And it turns out that the 4 guys that were there were fellow resellers. Obviously, they're not from my area because this estate sale was actually in Lake Butler, about 45 minutes north of Gainesville. But yeah, I started talking to them. You know, we were going back and forth. Everybody was kind of sharing their you know, their reselling tips. We were talking about different things where, you know, each of us sell at. Anyways, long story short, we stand there, we're chit-chatting it up. 8 o'clock comes and we all start walking towards the front door. I'm last in line. Once the door opens, we kind of all rush into the house and 3 of the resellers and 2 of the resellers that told me that they sell online, one of them sells on Amazon and the other one sells on Amazon and eBay. Both of those resellers walked right past the jewelry tables. They walked directly into the room that had like some electronic items. It was kind of right next to the living room. The living room had tons of, you know, different things like a television, a computer. It had some other different items scattered all over the place. And me and another reseller walked over towards the jewelry section, but the other reseller started to focus on some bronze statues. Now, I did look at these bronze statues and I immediately determined based on my knowledge that they were reproductions, so I really wasn't interested in the bronze statues. So I kind of put those to the side and paid attention to nothing but the jewelry section of this estate sale. They had about 2 to 3 fold-out tables. They also had a small table, and it was pretty much covered with jewelry. There was tons of different jewelry all over the place. There was a few wooden jewelry boxes. There was a couple of small cardboard boxes. They also had jewelry inside bags. Anyways, I took a brief, you know, kind of overlook of everything, and I immediately started to notice that there was, in fact, some gold and some silver. But I don't want to start picking these items up. I've talked about it in previous videos. You don't ever want to show or pick up a expensive item or something and cause them to pay attention to that item. It's not a good idea. I've had it happen to me so many times where, you know, I pick up an item and they immediately notice that it's gold, or they immediately notice that it's something that, you know, probably is worth a lot more money than what it is. So I try to be very discreet and I pick up a few miscellaneous items, basically some costume jewelry and a couple of watches. And I asked the lady, how much is the jewelry? She said, oh, it depends on the piece. And I said, well, what about these watches? What about the necklaces? She said, give me $1 for the necklaces and $2 each for the watches. So at that point, I determined that these people are not valuing this jewelry. You know, they're not valuing this jewelry at high prices. They're pretty much considering this stuff to be junk. And I moved in for the kill. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that I asked them how much they would take for it all. I wanted to buy all of the jewelry. Now, when I said this, it kind of, you know, startled them. It kind of took them by surprise. And this is very, very common because most buyers, they just don't try to do deals like that. Most people in the reselling business would have just picked out all of the items that they wanted and they would have asked them how much. But I don't do it that way because usually I always get a better deal if I'm trying to buy in bulk, because you got to understand that these people are trying to clear out this house. They're trying to sell as much as possible. So when somebody offers to buy, you know, a large quantity, you know, of items, they're more or likely going to give you a good deal if you're willing to buy it all. So basically it took them a few minutes and she said, you know, make us an offer. I didn't want to make them an offer because, again, I don't know if they're thinking that all of this jewelry is worth $1,000 or all of this jewelry is worth $20. So I really didn't want to make them an offer. It's always best to try to get them to make the offer first, and then you counter offer or you accept. That's the best strategy that I've had the most success with, and that's exactly what I did. So I kind of said, well, I wouldn't know what to offer. There's a ton of items. And she then went back and said, are you interested in only the jewelry or every item that's on the table? Now, there was a bunch of knives. There was a bunch of smaller, different type of like Chotsky type items, some little cups and things of that nature. There was also some other miscellaneous kind of mixed in. So I pretty much said, no, I'm talking about every item on all of these, tables in front of me. So her and her partner went back and forth, and they said $50. They said $40 at first, and then I had her add a couple of items. So it turned out to be $50. So I said, okay, I'll take it. That's a deal. I then grabbed my cardboard boxes, and I literally just started dumping all of the jewelry in the cardboard boxes. I started emptying all of the jewelry boxes, and it was a done deal. I got done doing that deal, and then that's when I progressed and went around the estate sale to try to find some other items. Now, most of the resellers that were there, they were looking at me like I was just, plumb crazy. They kind of looked at that stuff as kind of junk. And I get this a lot from other resellers, especially in my local area. There's tons of resellers around me, and most of them, when I'm outsourcing, they always pay attention to me because of the way that I do business, the way that I, negotiate, the way that I buy stuff in bulk. And I get these kind of comments all the time, how they don't understand how I'm able to make money buying stuff like that. And I don't really pay it no attention, because when it's all said and done, I am making money, and this is exactly why I am successful, because I'm doing deals like this when they're not capable of doing deals like this, or they're not willing to do deals like this, or they just don't have the knowledge to understand the value of these items. So basically, I boxed up all of those items. I purchased a few other items from the estate sale, and that was it. I left. So my whole point of this entire story is, when I go to an estate sale or a garage sale, there is actually a method to my madness. I don't just go into an estate sale and start running around trying to find items. I'm gonna go to whatever I believe could be the most profitable, which is always the jewelry. Every time I go to an estate sale, I'm going to go to the jewelry section first. But there is one reason why I wouldn't go to the jewelry section first, and that's if I know the people that are running the estate sale. If I know the company that's running the estate sale, then I'm not going to go to that jewelry section, because I know that they're not going to have any jewelry, especially gold. They're going to have it priced accordingly, and there's no point in me wasting my time. I go to other sections if that's the case. But in this instance, these people were not a company. They were family owned and operated. They just were family members selling off the contents of their grandfather's estate. So I knew that there was a good chance of there being some really good items. And I also made a judgment call based on my knowledge. And based on what I seen on the table, I already identified a couple of gold pieces, bunches of different silver items. And overall, I knew that there was no money to be lost, and I knew that there was money to be made. So, this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, is to tell everyone out there watching, if you're a reseller, you need to build your knowledge, because you can't, you can survive in the reselling business by just dealing in, gaming items. Every time you go to an estate sale, a yard sale, flea market, thrift store, go after the gaming items. Kill that niche. Like I've said in other videos, if you're going to stay within one niche, then master that niche and don't let anything, derail you at all. But if you are a reseller that deals in a variety of different items, like myself, then you should build enough knowledge to where you don't pass up items like this: jewelry, gold, silver, diamonds, high-end watches, because you're just passing up money. These people walked right by the table, and they didn't even think twice about trying to look at the items, buy the items, none of that. They just went right past it. And so now I'm going to show you a small clip of me. I actually just sorted through the jewelry, and I basically, went through both of the cardboard boxes, and I basically divided all the stuff up. Costume jewelry, that's high-end, signed pieces, sterling silver, and gold. I actually made out with a pretty good amount of gold so far, and I still haven't even finished going through all of the jewelry. But so far, far I have a little over, I think it was 47 grams of 14 karat. I have about 31 grams of 10 karat. I had about 17 to 20, I think it was like 17 to 22 grams of 18 karat. And then I have a really nice pocket watch that is, it's got Switzerland maker's marks and German maker's marks. It's probably from the early 1900s. That watch alone is probably gonna sell for $350, $400. It's 14 karat gold as well. And I still haven't even gone through all of the items. I'm still pulling items out. I'm still looking things up. And I still haven't even, scratched the surface on the value of everything, because I haven't even started to look up all the pocket knives, all of the other items that are in there. So here's a small clip of me going through the items and how much gold and silver I found. Okay, so here is the one of the boxes, two of the boxes, and then another box here. I'm about halfway through, sorting all of this stuff out. All of this stuff over here is just signed costume jewelry, things that I'm gonna be able to sell on eBay, but that's not actually real. It's not, gold or silver. It's just higher end costume jewelry. Up here, I have some silver items. These are all sterling silver. These bracelets. Then I got some old pins. I got this really cool vintage belt buckle. I got some watches. This watch is pretty cool. This is a vintage Mickey Mouse watch. It's definitely got some age on it. It's a Swiss watch. Then I got this watch, which is a Citizens Eco Drive, and it's brand new in the box. So basically, this is what I do when I get, a big bundle of jewelry. I basically just, go through everything, pull out what I think is real, and then I'm gonna make sure and test everything. But so far, this is all of the gold that I've gotten out of this, this jewelry lot. Most of all of this stuff is marked, and obviously, I've been in the business a long time. I know how to kind of look at jewelry and just immediately determine that it's gold, but I definitely will go through and I will test all of these items. But I basically just separate it if it's marked. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that or not, but this is a pretty big bracelet there. This is another pretty heavy bracelet. Got some rings, some earrings, bunches of necklaces, different things of that nature. So, based on this, if I were to weigh all of this, I know that I'm going to be making, at least probably over $1,000 already in scrap gold. And I still have quite a bit to go through. I have this box to go through, and then I have all of these. And as you can see, I pretty much just started grabbing all of the jewelry and I just threw it in this box. I got a bunch of silver spoons here. And I still have quite a bit more to go through. So let me go ahead and finish going through it all, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I end up with as far as gold and silver, and if I come across anything else that's really valuable. Okay, so I just finished sorting through all of the jewelry, and basically this is what I'm left with. The rest of the jewelry and the stuff that I don't want is all in this box. This is all junk stuff that I'll probably put on eBay and do like a junk drawer lot. I've been doing really good with the junk drawer lots, so hopefully I'll do that here soon. This is all of the items that I'm keeping that I'm actually going to list and sell. I found a few more gold items. This here, I gotta actually do a lot more research on this. This has actually got some serious age on it. But I tested that one. That looks to be like it's a little over 14 karat, which is common. Back in the day, gold just wasn't refined like it is nowadays. But anyways, all of this, I've tested pretty much everything in here. All of these items I've tested. This is sterling silver. These are sterling silver. I got a few watches, sterling silver. I got some knives. Got some sterling silver here. This is Gorham sterling silver spoons. not really worth a whole lot, but you know, when you really think about it and you start adding it all up, it really does, you know, it makes a huge difference. You know, when you have the knowledge and you're able to walk into an estate sale or a garage sale and buy stuff like this, spend 40, make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I mean, just the gold alone is going to make me, you know, more than $400, $500, $600 easily. I haven't weighed it all yet, but I will weigh it. And then I have silver, you know, then I have some really good watches that I need to look up. I got some other, you know, really good costume jewelry. So all in all, this was an absolutely great score. So as you can see from that video, it's quite a bit of jewelry. There's quite a bit of gold, quite a bit of silver. It's not like the biggest score in the world, but when you think about what I spent for those items, it's a no-brainer. And this is exactly why I tell all of my viewers that knowledge is key. I don't care if resellers think that I'm an idiot for buying a couple of tables full of what they call junk. I don't care if, you know, other resellers look at me as the junk buyer or whatever the case may be. People just look at this, you know, certain people look at this kind of stuff as junk. People all the time refer to me as the guy that's dealing in, you know, used antiques and things of that nature, and they actually look down upon, you know, like they're looking down on me for that. In reality, they have no clue what they're talking about. I would much rather buy a, you know, 1870s vase, stoneware, or something really, really old that's worth $1,000 than going and buying, you know, 6 Super Nintendos. It's just, you know, I look at things a lot different. Not that I don't deal in those kinds of items. I buy gaming items all the time. I buy electronics all the time. Camera items, clothing items, toys. I buy those items. But when you really think about the profit margins, I'm making way more profit on items that I like, which is jewelry, antiques, collectibles, things of that nature. The profit margins on those items are outrageously high. And the reason for that is because most of the times these people have no clue what they have. They didn't realize that there was a bunch of gold mixed in with all this costume jewelry. They didn't realize that there was a bunch of silver and a bunch of other valuable items. And so that's why I'm able to score deals like that and actually make a really good, you know, a really good profit. When it's all said and done, I'm going to make, you know, probably well over $1,000, maybe even more. I have over $1,000 in just scrap gold alone. I could literally take that right now to the refinery and make that money. But obviously, I've been in the business a long time. I've been holding on to my gold and silver. Hopefully one day the gold prices is going to shoot back up. The silver prices have to go back up eventually, and I'll cash out. But I just wanted to make this video real fast and kind of point out to all of you out there, build your knowledge up. Do not pass up jewelry. Make sure you know how to identify gold. Make sure you can identify silver. I know that there are tons of resellers out there that already know how to, you know, look for gold and silver. But I'm really talking to all of you newer resellers, everybody that's just now getting into the game, people that want to actually learn about this type of stuff and that are, you know, that's intrigued about this type of stuff. I highly recommend that you learn how to identify gold and silver, costume jewelry as well, and take it and run with it, because there's lots of money to be made. You can find stuff all the time. Don't be one of these resellers that passes up these kinds of items. Just learn about those items. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with not being knowledgeable. I'm just saying that you should want to learn and build your knowledge so you can be the best picker, so you can be the best sourcer. And when you go out, you're not missing items. You're able to capitalize on anything that you find. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for coming and watching another one of my videos. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't left me a comment already, go down in the comment section. Let me know what you would like me to make a video about and what you would like me to talk about in my next video. Or just go down and say, hey, what's up? And I will reply back, guaranteed within a matter of minutes. Also, follow me on social media, on Instagram at Resellerrockefeller, on Twitter at the King of Resell. Somebody had already stole the Rockefeller name, so I'm not sure what's going on. So anyways, until next time, folks, I'm out of here. Peace.